Tonight on World Monitor, a new Soviet threat for its neighbors. An old-fashioned SNL and pushing the limits of learning.
On Wednesday, December 12th, from bureaus around the globe, this is World Monitor, a television presentation of the Christian Science Monitor. And now, filling in for John Hart, Peter Kent in Boston.
The downside details of the savings and loan industry are well known. More than 500 SNLs taken over by the government. The total eventual cost to taxpayers could exceed $500 billion. Not all savings and loan institutions, though, have gone bad. It's estimated that about 1,500 will survive the restructuring imposed by reform laws passed by Congress last year. But as World Monitor's Ann Collier reports, the savings and loan label has been so tainted by the scandal that even the most scrupulously run among the surviving institutions are facing an uncertain future.
Brattleboro, Vermont, quintessential New England. And at the center of all this, Main Street.
Hey, George, don't take any plug nickels.
Hey, George, your suitcase is leaking.
Hey, Ernie.
Very much like the one in Bedford Falls, the town where George Bailey lived in the 1946 film, It's a Wonderful Life. Almost everybody in town knew George because he ran the town's savings and loan.
Well, this town needs this measly one-horse institution.
Our business here is very simple. It is the plain, vanilla SNL that you read about years ago.
Doing that Bella Brattleboro thing. I think that's a good...
Brattleboro has a George Bailey, too. His name is Rob Schrull, president of the Brattleboro Savings and Loan. Like George, he conducts his business as much on Main Street as he does at his desk.
How you doing, Ryan?
Schrull makes it a point to have breakfast with his customers most mornings.
Hi, Jim. How are you doing?
And to stop by and have a drink with them on his way home.
The formula is not get too stuck on, don't take yourself too seriously. You know, don't get stuck on yourself. Stay close to your roots. You know, in a family, what's the success in a family? You know, it's staying close to your family. Well, isn't this just a larger family?
When nearly 500 other SNLs have closed nationwide, this one has not only remained solvent, but has grown. From $8 million in assets 10 years ago to $35 million last year.
Thank you.
When other thrifts were buying junk bonds and investing far afield, this one stayed true to the promise of its founders in 1912.
What we did early on in the early 80s was we structured the balance sheet properly, and you basically are attracting deposits and paying a fair rate of return on those deposits, and you're turning them out in mortgage loans. And so a person, you're attracting some money, and then you're using those money as pooled funds to help somebody else with a house.
That prudence has not only kept the Brattleboro thrift out of trouble, but allows it to continue lending to people who can't get loans from banks and big mortgage companies.
What was interesting to me in dealing with Brattleboro Savings and Loan as opposed to the big national company was that they understood me and I understood them. They understand freelance writers who live in Vermont, whose financial records might not fit some computer model for a mortgage, but the mountains are full of people like that. They knew that, and they understood me and I understood them.
There is a gut feeling that you get about the person coming into the bank. And you can tell that they really are going to perform with what you can just feel that. Chase Manhattan Bank, when it owns all the banks in Vermont, is not going to care about that person. They're not.
Saying no one should start life without a nest egg, the bank opens a $5 savings account for every baby born in town. And to make banking more accessible to people living outside town, there's a branch at Stockwell's General Store.
With our remote service units, we're saying you don't have to come into the bank. You can do it at where you do your shopping. And unlike an ATM, there's a face there that's dealing with you.
There's a branch at the local high school where students are the tellers.
As healthy as Brattleboro Savings and Loan is, its future well-being is still in question. Depositors have pulled out $4 million in the past 6 months. And healthy S&Ls like this one are paying the increasing costs of regulation brought on by those that have failed.
The balance sheet will work through this problem, through this slump in the economy. Sure, I'm not making a lot of loans, but I'm still going to be able to keep my people employed. And I'm still going to be able to put money in the bottom line each year.
The Thrift is required to pay $17,000 a year to its new regulator, the Office of Thrift Supervision. That's on top of the $60,000 that now go to insurance premiums. Not including labor costs, those figures add up to more than 40% of annual profits.
We're paying in Vermont for problems that were caused thousands of miles from here. No question about it. None of that stuff took place here with any of the institutions in Vermont, and yet we're paying for it, both in real dollars and in press and in image.
Well, Richard said to say hello and to keep up the good work.
And
To reduce the growing cost of regulation, Schrull is trying to convert his savings and loan to a state savings bank. That would allow him to make at least 15 more home loans a year. But whatever happens, Schrull says it won't change the way his S&L does business.
I'll keep living here and working in this institution and trying to guide, with the help of my directors, this institution in that direction. And if we end up being the ones that are unsuccessful, then we made the wrong decision, but I don't think it's the wrong decision.
For now, George Bailey is alive and well and keeping his savings and loans solvent in Vermont. For World Monitor, I'm Ann Collier in Brattleboro.
When we return, riotous behavior for better schools.